been doing all day.
That was, let me take my glasses off here so I can read. Tina Gaslow with, no, sorry, that was Woods with Rise. I've been away, away from my little spot here because I had to let my guest in, and my guest has arrived, and he is sitting here, Guido Van Helten. How are you doing, Guido?
Good, thanks for having me.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure to have an artist come in under our roof. It's a privilege to and it blows me away because, you know, I've been looking at your art out there on the internet, and it just staggers me. I mean, I can't even write properly or do stick figures, and I see what you're doing there, and it's like, wow. Let alone the fact that you're on a cherry picker a couple hundred feet in the air. I admire what you're doing. It's amazing. Welcome to the studio, to KMSU studio, and yeah, I've had a lot of people in here over the years, a few anyway. Michael Charles, he's a blues guitarist from Australia, lives in Chicago. Anthony Snape, we were talking about him just a minute ago. He's from can't think of the town now, but out in the middle central New South Wales. Laura Wild's been in here. Warren McDonald is an Australian climber that lost both legs in a climbing accident. Became the first double above knee amputee to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And now I've got a painter. And this having you coming here, I kind of feel more nervous than anyone else. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I know a few artists back in Australia that it's kind of so cool to see what you're doing there. I drive past the silos there every day, pretty much, and seeing the progress is amazing. So
yeah, thank you.
What I'm curious about the inspiration. Is it, you know, obviously Native American? How did you come up with the image there?
Well, there's a lot in that. Like, so far what I have done is it has a big Native American element. Of course, there's much more to come with that. I kind of want to give it away, though. Reason why I have started with this main element, and it is a main feature. It's basically, you know, we all know the history of Mankato. So for me, coming in as an outsider, I treat my work like it's kind of like a documentary approach. You know, I'm not biased in any way, or I don't look at creating work with bias. You know, from the start, it's more about like, what is the situation of this place and how has it developed, what's the history around the site, and it's just working with site specifics. So yeah, so in that I want to find ways that I can, you know, commemorate and celebrate culture and community, and yeah, obviously I want a strong presence, indigenous presence in that, and I want a respect for that, and I want to you know, evolve that and discover how we have arrived at this place in the modern day, like right now. So Mankato is, you know, it's not only, there's many other elements of this community, so the artwork's still evolving, so yeah, you'll see.
Well, because I'm a big fan of the native or indigenous thing worldwide. In my radio show, I try to finish off my end of the show, the last 15-20 minutes of Australian or New Zealand indigenous music, and I have a soft spot for them because they were able to live in harmony with nature, and whereas the white people have not had such a good, you know, it's kind of, as I said to one person once in the studio here, they have the rape, pillage, and plunder attitude. Some white people do, and I don't, which I just don't get. You know, you've got to look after Mother Earth. So now you've got murals from, you know, Australia to Iceland, from Ukraine through to Mankato. How many murals, these massive murals, are there that you've done?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to sit here and count, but I have
A lot.
Yeah, I mean, travel is a part of my a big passion of mine, along with photography and painting, and this is all sort of developed over time. I grew up doing more traditional graffiti, so in that sort of game, as you could call it, one of the main goals of it is to like get out there and face challenges and try your hardest to have a creative approach to like kind of in an outdoor environment, and extremes and weather and things like this. And I don't know, I just ended up getting on a bit of a wave with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like traveled all around now, like for the past, I don't know, 4-5 years would be accurate. So, but part of the reason why I am traveling so much is because Australia is so far away. So
Yeah.
and it's like, but I enjoy working. As I said, I'm not. I have no preference of any place. It's more. I actually enjoy bringing artwork to places which don't have big murals, and this is why I've been pretty passionate about the Midwest or working around this area, because often these art forms are seen as very urban, urban movement.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and nowadays, it's interesting to see the reaction when you take it to other places. So yeah, Iceland, and I've been to some weird spots with that, like Greenland and Northern Europe and Eastern Europe, and then I've done a little bit in India as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still a lot out there. But there's a scene of this. People. There's many other artists who are doing this.
Yeah. I suppose if you're in that field, you would know that, but somebody like me and the average listener out there wouldn't necessarily know that. But they're going to drive past that silo down there in Mankato and go, "Wow, look at that!" So some of your artworks on looks like apartment blocks, and you got silos of the front of the ship that was in Iceland, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What is it predominantly on buildings, or and what other objects have you done your murals on?
Well, trains.
Trains. Yeah. Were they official?
Back in the day, well, I have actually done an official project with freight cars in Australia, but it was it's actually online. It's made by a good friend of mine, Selena Miles, a filmmaker, so also from Brisbane. So yeah, I have done, but it's interesting to like bring artwork to a different surface. So silos now has become a bit of a theme with my work. I've sort of built a bit of a concept around that, because they are interesting kind of objects, buildings. So, and often they're very much in like smaller communities. So yeah, I think it's interesting to kind of represent small communities and give smaller communities a voice on a really big scale. That's been part of like my interest in the Midwest, to shine some light on different communities, different places in the US. And I see the US as a pretty diverse place, which I can celebrate by exploring these different communities and taking photographs and showing that to sort of my audience or the audience of street art or murals. So that's what I think is cool about silos. And yeah.
Well, I have a son that he tried his hand at graffiti. It didn't turn out so well for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's went into the medical field.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. Why don't we spin a tune? And music. Let's talk about what sort of music do you like?
Well, I don't like have too much of a preference. I'm not a big heavy metal fan, and then but anything else, anything else I'm good.
I'm very disappointed in that, by the way. Very disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, I get a lot of my music from Triple J.
Oh yeah.
I don't normally say that because I don't want to lose listeners to Triple J.
Mm-hmm.
Their Unearthed site. So it's all the new and up and coming artists. So I like to put that in. I don't play in excess or AC/DC. It's kind of rare because they get airplay over here anyway, and I want to help the up and coming artists. Give them plus one place, Desert P Media. That's a pretty amazing site, and this can't think of the fellow's name now, but he goes out into the Australian outback.
Yeah, they actually did a project. I was working in Cunnamulla in Western Queensland in March, and they were there
Okay.
working at that same time.
Yeah, what he's doing is amazing. I think with getting into those communities and giving the kids a voice and some direction and hope and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. Anyway, we'll go back into the music. Tones and I, girl from Victoria, worked in retail. We'd go home from work and get the keyboards out and put stuff together, and then she got this idea about going to Byron Bay, one of the music festivals up there, Splendor in the Grass, I think it was, and when she got up there, she decided to try some busking, and within a couple of hours, they had traffic problems. There were so many people listening to what she was doing, and within 2 weeks, she's getting national airplay. Well, she won 2 Triple J's New Artist of the Year. So I played her in my last show, and I'm playing her again. This is this particular track, Never Seen the Rain. Tones and I here on KMSU.